Welcome to A Taste of Theater, where everyone is a star. This is the place where playwrights from around the country will come to showcase one scene of their play. Today's star is shining bright on Darrell Harrell of Minneapolis, Minnesota. We will see a clip of his play, When Momma Prayed. Everyone's a star. Today's star is shining bright on Darrell Harrell and Matt Fink. Starview Studios. We are on location in Minneapolis. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Darrell Harrell, the writer and director of When Momma Prayed.
And I'm Matt Fink, the music producer and co-writer of the music for the production.
And tell me, why did you write this production?
Well, I originally wrote this because I wanted to put out a message. And basically, I just pulled from my youth, where my parents both grew up in Alabama. And it always struck me, not as odd, but it left a lasting impression where Akron is a real place, which is where the play takes place. And there's not a lot. People there don't have a lot. And however, they always had their needs met. And I was always impressed. That left a lasting impression on me. And so what I wanted to do is bring some of those elements into a play and share that. And I also have a praying mother who always prayed, and got 9 brothers and sisters, and we didn't always have, you have a lot of needs with 9 kids, but they always got met. So I pulled all that together to put out a message, really, because there's a lot of people out there that, they're struggling. And but this is a good message for people to always keep in mind that there's hope.
And how does the music tie into this project?
Well, the music side of this, I wrote some original music a long time ago, but I couldn't put music to it. Wrote the melody and lyrics. And a friend of mine, the producer, was good friends with Matt, pulled Matt Fink in. But the reason why the music is so important is because it ties in certain elements of the play. When you're doing theater, it's all about stirring up someone's emotions, that type of thing, and the music does that. It really hits the head on the nail, if you will, for certain scenes.
All right, so tell us more about the music that you wrote with Dr. Fink.
Well, the title track is called When Momma Prayed, and that's really the scene that the whole play is about, right? There's a scene where the mother prays, where they have to get their needs met. And so that song is really important, and it's a song that really has to pull on your emotions, and it has to be relevant to the scene. And so it really needed to be shaped right, and you needed someone that really knows music to shape the song to come out the way it needs to. And Matt worked on the music side, and we pulled in a really good local singer, and I think it turned out to be great.
Yes, it's definitely representative of and derivative of Southern gospel roots and blues music. Yeah. And in general, the majority of the 6 songs that are being produced for the play are in that genre. And there's a couple that are a little more modern sounding, of course, but the majority of the music is very Southern gospel.
All right, and tell me, how long have you been writing plays?
I've been writing plays about 10 years now. And I've been an actor in the Twin Cities about 18 years now. So, I do some commercial work, industrial films. Been in a couple of major feature films. I was in Joe Somebody featuring Tim Allen. And I was also in The Prodigal, which was shot a couple years ago here in the Twin Cities. And I actually did another film called Tail Lights here in the Twin Cities as well. So I kind of, do the directing, acting coach, and songwriter, producer as well.
So. And you can tell us more about your music experience.
Well, as most of you know, I worked as Prince's keyboardist for 12 years in the original group that he put together in late 1978, and then later became The Revolution. After my tenure with Prince, I moved on to work with K-Tel Records here in Minneapolis as a staff producer, and we did original projects and also some special specialty themed albums that they do. And then later on I became involved with video game music production, and also in the last several years I've been working with a company that does video games for casinos, the slot machine, the new modern style of games which require music and sound effects. So I've been doing sound design for them now, as well as continuing to work with local and national and international artists as a producer and session player, as a keyboardist on projects. And I pretty much run the studio as a full-service facility, doing mixing, mastering, production, in various forms. You know, it's all depends on what the client needs at the time. Saying that the name of the studio that we're working out of here is Starview Recording Studios, which is my facility that I put together about 19 years ago now.
Excellent. And describe some of the scenes in the production or the story.
Yeah, so the storyline, it starts off, it's about a small black family living in the Deep South. They really don't have a lot, but they're richly in love with each other. And the father, who's the breadwinner for the family, unexpectedly passes away. And when he does, the mother has to pray, and she does, and God meets their needs in a very miraculous way. So that's really the synopsis of the play, and that's where the music and comes along to help move the audience through different segments of the play. We also have a church scene in there, which I'm very excited about. We have some funny characters and some serious characters, and we have a dynamic singer. And again, another song that we wrote for that scene, which turned out to be great. And so what it is, the play takes you through, it's not a roller coaster, but a ride of emotions. You know, there's a lot of laughter, there's comedy in there, and there's also some heartfelt moments. So it's a really inspiring play that gets across a great message in a very, very entertaining way.
And what is that you want people to walk away with after seeing this production?
Well, there's always hope. So you can take a family like this, a real-life family, that you may not have much, which is really, even if you don't have much, as long as you have love for one another, you're really rich in life. I mean, that's really what's key. And whatever you have, you know, if you always have hope and you pray to God, your needs will get met. And I know a lot of people are struggling in this economy, and you know what? As long as you have your loved ones close and you're a believer, your needs will be met.
I agree with that assessment.
And if you can tell us, who was the hardest character to write for in this production?
Well, the hardest character was the mother, because she's actually pivotal throughout the whole play from beginning to end. So she had to be somebody that the audience would accept. You know, she has to be a loving character, but she has to be real, right? A mother isn't. She's also strict. She has to know how to get on you, and you know, because it's about when Momma prayed, that it all comes down to that moment. She has to be somebody that's also believable. Is what the message that she's getting across. And in this play, she also sings as well. So it's someone that really has to have a lot of talent, a wide range. And we got someone that's dynamic in that role. So that was the toughest part.
Every playwright has a ministry. What would you say your ministry is?
Inspiration. Really, I like to say that when the takeaway from this play is it's inspiring. And I put it this way: I have I think of the arts like this. Whether you're reading a good book, whether you're watching a movie, or whether you're seeing a play, that art form should impact you in some way. So art should impact you emotionally. You should feel, what you're seeing. It should impact you intellectually, meaning that it should cause you to think or rethink some things in life. And it should be inspirational. And that's kind of my philosophy for when I do a play. I'm trying to do that. So I like to educate and inspire and enlighten people in that respect.
do you have some of the music from the production that that you would like to share, or would you that you can share?
How about it, Doc? Can we share
Right now?
Well, we could give you a snippet of the title
The
track.
title track, yeah.
Okay.
It's not mixed yet. It's not totally completed, but yes, we could put that up, and you could get a little 30-second to 1 minute introduction to that.
Heaven and earth would come together. Mama prayed, all my fears fade away. When Mama prayed, she could hear the voice of God. And getting an answer from Him didn't seem too hard when Mama prayed.
We just heard that wonderful track that you put out. Tell us all about the scene and how this song came about.
Well, when Momma Prayed, again, this is really what the whole play centers around, because this is the moment where the mother prays. And but what brought that about is obviously the dad passed away, and the mother has to pray. And what I like about it is right before she sings, the two sons are up because they can't sleep at night. They have hunger pains, and they're peeping through the door hole of where their mom's praying. And again, it's that how kids are mimicking or seeing how their parents are living their lives, and it's that mom is showing them kids really what's helping them what made her help her to get through life, really. But the music, that Southern blues kind of gospel feel, ties right in with that scene very powerfully, and it turned out great.
And tell us, Matt, what parts on the production that you played on this track?
Well, I did all of the drum work and the bass work, the keyboard work, and the arrangement of the song, along with Darrell, and just the whole production vibe of that music was my role in all of this, and also helping to produce the vocals. But when that singer is so gifted that he's the kind of person that came in here and just really blew us away. He was so good that I didn't have to give him any direction even at all. I just had to sit there and push the record button and let him do his thing, do about 5 or 6 takes that we can draw from. But what you heard was part of one of the takes, but I haven't done any full editing on all the takes yet, which we may borrow from some of the other takes. But yeah, we were so fortunate to have him bring his gifts to the table. So that's all I can say. It's just one of those things where, as a producer, I didn't have to work very hard on that part of it. Put it that way. Yeah. Thank you, God.
Yeah. And you've been writing plays for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to up-and-coming playwrights who want to sit in your shoes and work with professionals such as Dr. Fink?
Well, just stick to it and believe in yourself. You know, what's interesting about this play is it started off as a monologue, probably, you know, about 9 years ago. But I always wanted to make it a full-blown play. But before this opportunity came, I had to believe that one day this would all happen. I didn't see it, but I just believed it in my heart, and I wrote it out as a full-blown play. And here it is today, you know, but it didn't start that way. So just believe in yourself. Whatever you want, really go for it. You're going to have some struggles, but through those struggles, you always learn something. And, you know, God always make a way. And, you know, and I got to say, I'm very humbled by working with Matt and these other singers that are giving their talent, because I couldn't have pulled it all together. And it's, so what I'm saying to that is, you know, you'll have some divine intervention and network with people. And other people will suggest other people. Actually, Greg, the producer, suggested Matt. He brought Matt in perfect mix. And just believe in yourself, it'll all work out.
I forgot to mention one more thing earlier when we were discussing the music production. I've also brought in a friend of mine by the name of Robert or Bobby Schnitzer, who played on the song Funky Town, which was a big hit in the early 80s as well, which came out of Minneapolis. But he is a premier blues guitarist who's worked with some pretty well-known people out there in the past. So he brought a lot to the table on that track as well, and some of the other songs he'll be playing on as well.
A Taste of Theater.
Where everyone is a star.
So big?
Well, we sure been missing you since you went in the service.
Oh, I've been missing all of y'all too.
Are you gonna be staying for a while?
No, ma'am. We got a couple of days off for leave. I just had to come by and see y'all first. Got a few more people I need to see before I head back out tomorrow.
You look so handsome in your uniform. Put your hat on. I love to go downtown. I always wonder what it would be like to stay in one of them big, beautiful hotels for just one night. How you gonna get your work done in the field?
I don't know. I gotta figure it out. I'm in a world of trouble.
We should be a little like my Uncle B.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the lying part. I'm talking about always having a story to tell. You see, this is what the old church called a testimony. Give me one more chance, you'll see.
Put in my secret hiding place.
You got a hole in your sock and in your shoe, and you wonder where your money went. What kind of hiding place is that anyway? I don't pay the bill. All your money spent. Little bit of car food. Baby need a pair of shoes. Think you gotta like them too. Even got a gas bill too. Telephone disconnect. Waiting for the next paycheck.
We ain't gonna have no crops, which means no food, no money, and I don't want to see you and the boys go hungry.
And I don't want to see you go back in that field.
I gotta get back out there. Listen to me, Marcella. If I don't, we're not gonna make it. Do you understand me? Just flat
Someone has to pay the bills around here.
Yeah, but y'all really ain't looking good around here these days. I mean, speaking of good, Chacos, can you pass me the potatoes? What's that, plain salad?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Baby, you don't have to pile a lot on your plate. Okay? Just a little bit. It's enough for a second.
Excuse me.
Just saying, you know.
Anyway, Kim, I forgot to tell you that my baby has a plan to open a getaway for us. What are you doing?
They broke up the patchwork shelters and just scattered us. It's like cattle. Just like they're trying to scatter you. I know. I've hoped so many hopes, dreamed so many dreams, and seen them swept aside by weather, burned away by fire, scared away by...
You know, I've been dating around. You know, I've been going on a lot of dates. Yeah. I got about 4 in rotation right now. I'm sorry, can I get you ladies anything to drink? I'll have a Tanqueray and tonic on the rocks. I'll have an orange juice.
Gin and juice on the rocks, please.
Tonight, I think I'll have a white Zinfandel. I'll just have water.
Ain't that a holy water?
Whatever. Okay. Miss Leah, who is paying for your drink? Because, you know, we love you and all, but it's tight out here.
I know, girl. That handsome man right there, because he's been staring at me all night.
Hey, ladies. So, I called you up here today to let you know that family and I are getting divorced.
What?
Well, family, actually it was me.
What? So we know who the real hardest town is now.
And nothing in the world matters to me, no. Take my hand and come with me to a place called love was not. Oh, baby, I get you back, baby, and you never. 'Cause I give it all to you. I think that I need to be, yeah. Show you things you need to see. Oh, don't have to worry. It's so
That gun to his head. And he pulled the trigger. 7 months ago, I felt a lump in my breast. I know I should have talked about my say my father, nobody. And my boy's a good boy, he does all his work. Hold these off to America. They may have called ID, but I got an iPhone, a Boost mobile phone, and 2 free cell phones. Girl, I know they say no prayer in school, but I don't care. Get her down here quick. I got somebody who needs to put it in there. Rita. Crazy. Leave.
Don't you remember? You said you'll be coming back this way again. Baby, 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 oh, baby. I love you.